This is top-secret footage of the first firefighters to arrive at the site of the Chernobyl explosion before the collapse of the Soviet Union. Because they were not notified of the leak, they went into an environment containing more than 200 times the radiation of the Hiroshima bombing without any radiation protection. What happened to the firefighters who first entered the scene of the accident?
The neutrons of uranium-235 penetrated every cell in their bodies at nearly the speed of light, and then completely shattered their DNA, and then the tissues of their entire bodies festered until they all fell off, and they all died in agony within the next 72 hours.
What was done with the remains of all these firefighters afterward?
The remains were encapsulated in lead plates and cemented and then sunk into the ground. Even the clothes worn were to be sealed.
What happened in the moments after the explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant?
The 2,000-ton roof of the nuclear reactor was spewed high into the air under powerful air pressure. Colorful particles of nuclear radiation shot straight up into the sky.
On what date exactly did the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown occur?
April 26, 1986, 1:23 a.m.
Why did the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown shock the world?
Because the people of the Soviet Union paid the price of 600,000 people going to their deaths in exchange for the peace that exists today.
What contamination was created in the air after the Chernobyl explosion?
36 hours after the explosion, the amount of radioactivity in the air of the city had reached a staggering 2,080 roentgens, which would have killed the human body in just 15 minutes of absorption.
What measures were taken by the Soviet Union after the explosion?
To prevent the radiation from spreading, a large number of helicopters were also sent to drop sandbags and borax over the reactor.
Why is it that these pilots were also in a suicidal rescue attempt in the first place?
Because they approached as close as possible, with almost no protection, over the reactor, which already had radiation values of up to 3,500 roentgens. In the process, the pilots were tingling and vomiting all over their bodies with every flight. Afterward, it was calculated that a total of over 600 pilots gave their lives in the process.
Why was it later discovered that even filling in the cracks at the reactor collapse would only suspend the situation?
Because the firefighters had previously formed a lot of standing water at the bottom of the reactor in the process of extinguishing the fire. If the magma inside burns through the concrete slab at the bottom and comes into contact with the standing water below, it will trigger another explosion that will level half of Europe.
When the Chernobyl nuclear accident, the miners have done what heroic deeds?
10,000 young miners work naked, they every 30 people group, 3 hours a shift, all day long, only 1 month and 4 days, will dig a 12-meter deep 150-meter long channel. Eventually, the magma was contained.
Who else was involved in the relief effort for the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown?
100,000 soldiers and officers and 400,000 civilians were involved in clearing the debris.
What happened to all these people involved in the rescue?
20,000 of them passed away tragically in the following 20 years. 200,000 of them, as a result, were left with lifelong disabilities, and countless others, as a result, suffered from maladies such as leukemia and cancer.
How long did it take the Soviet Union to deal with the leak?
7 months.